Just
Up and away with Shazam!
can you do
Go!
your like Toby's?
Go, web, go! That's what he does.
Can you do the pelvic thrust? So fucking stupid.
Welcome to the What Do We Know podcast, where we do stuff like that.
What's your favorite movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Come on down and chum some of this shit.
What's up, film geeks and freaks? I'm Armando.
I'm Kenny.
And I'm Riley.
And welcome to the What Do We Know podcast, where three film students talk about movies new and old, celebrating our love for film.
So for this week, we are reviewing the original Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire. But first, let's talk about some film news. So the first story that we're breaking is the 10th and final film by Quentin Tarantino. The film critic has officially been scrapped. Sources, as of right now, don't know why the film was scrapped, but Sony Studios still has every intention on partnering with Tarantino for his final film. Thoughts, opinions, concerns?
I'm kind of happy because I honestly wasn't too excited with the film critic, quote unquote. But it had some cool news, like Cliff Booth returning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so supposedly like this one was a offspring of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And because I know that there was like several edits, which we all know, like if you follow Quentin Tarantino, we all know that he talks about he makes one edit and just keeps writing and scrapping.
Yeah, he also mentioned apparently that there were going to be like other characters from his previous films, like basically because he's always had kind of like made the implication that a lot of, if not all of his movies are set within the same universe, just like at different points and whatnot. So he said he was going to have like characters from other movies like appear. So
imagine the Bride just popping up, just getting a coffee.
Or fucking Jules from Pulp Fiction just, hey motherfucker, listen. Or
You're right.
like that.
No, I mean, like, I will say, I think with Quentin Tarantino, he wouldn't scrap something if it was great.
Yeah. That's why I trust him.
Yeah, same. I just feel like if you're going
I'm sure it'll be for the better.
Yeah, I'm sure if you're going to walk into a film with a script and spend millions of dollars backed by a studio, spend several months, filming it, and your heart's not in it, or you just don't think it's gonna live up to the hype. Because also, this is your 10th film, this is your final film.
Yeah. And
it's just like, if he didn't believe in it, then he absolutely should have scrapped it. But I don't know what the whereabouts on it is. I'm sure, like, later on, it'll be said, like, at a convention center or something. Yeah. It will be said why he scrapped it.
Yeah, he'll probably say it later on.
Because it was, what I read was, originally it was about, like, a 1970s writer who was doing, like, fictional porn.
Yeah, it was something about, it was based off on a writer, or something like that.
I don't know. I just feel like if you're going to do Quentin Tarantino, we kind of want the blood, the gore, the guts.
Yeah. Is your favorite Kill Bill?
As of right now, it is my number one movie on Letterbox. I don't know why, because that type of film, like that martial arts or whatever, I don't know. It's not my shtick. Like, I just feel like I like a bunch of movies in different genres. Yeah, but it's just, that film is just, to me, perfection. Currently, it's my number one. I mean, I can always go back and watch it. Volume 1, Volume 2 was a little draggy, but yeah, I mean, that is my all-time favorite. And I find it surprising, but I always kind of go back to it. But But I guess we'll see with his final film because he was supposedly what the report says that it was mostly casted and that they would start filming next month for a 2025 release. So,
Damn.
Yeah.
Got really close.
Yeah. And that's why Sony kind of put forth like a report saying that, they didn't say why, but they are still interested in making his final film.
Yeah.
So at least he has a studio backing him.
Armando, what's your favorite Quentin Tarantino movie?
Probably it's still Pulp Fiction.
Well,
Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, just great. It's a classic. The second, like the one that I've thought about, I'm like, damn, is it? Probably Django.
That's probably my number
Django's
one.
really fucking good. Like,
Yeah.
it's right there.
Django's just so rewatchable.
It is.
Yeah. I just I don't know. I think I rock with the characters more in Pulp Fiction.
Right.
Because they're just memorable in my opinion.
That's true.
Samuel
They
Jackson, John Travolta.
Right. I feel like typically when it comes to Tarantino's name and his films, I mean, those are pretty much like the three that kind of get talked about the most between like our top three. But anyways, moving on.
All right, the next thing we were going to talk about is Netflix just released a masterpiece in Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scar Giver.
Did I write that wrong?
Yeah, it's The Scar Giver. And it has had... it premiered with lower viewership than the first movie, and Looper is claiming that it officially Zack Snyder's worst movie.
They literally put that up as a headline yesterday. I said, damn, Looper.
And it just might be. Like, I am honestly not a Zack Snyder hater. Like, I like some of his movies, especially, like, Watchmen. I love Watchmen.
Watchmen's good. I like
But this one, it's got over 20 minutes of exclusively slow motion. So, I can't.
To preface this, we didn't watch it. We actually we think maybe we could do a review on it, but we did watch a bunch of clips on YouTube, it's just so much.
I've seen a good bit of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're more saying this just because everybody's been talking about it, and also just it's like I don't think there's a tweet I've seen or just on YouTube that hasn't been saying something along the lines of Rebel Moon sucks. How could this get any worse? Zack Snyder's lowest, like you said, stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. Again, I've always said it. He does well when he's like making an image. His movies are pretty and they're nice to look at.
What did we say the other day?
Writing and directing.
Yeah.
I don't directing wise. I don't think he's as bad, but I don't know. His stories sometimes are. I don't know. They're just not it. Have you seen Sucker Punch?
Oh my gosh!
It's a cool film.
It is.
It's a cool film.
It is.
You can watch that and have fun with it.
You can watch the YouTube clips of it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said. About
And again,
Godzilla,
Sucker Punch, like in the same vanity, it's such a pretty movie.
Yeah. Again, everything looks nice, but
I don't know. I think whenever you have that much traction, like you're a household name, and you have that much traction, and I feel bad because what it seems like to me is that he's really putting everything he got into this Rebel Moon series.
Yeah, he's definitely putting effort, and he said before, this is a very personal project.
Yes.
How many of them are they making?
Didn't he say
I don't know. I've heard
5?
6. I've heard 5.
I've heard 10.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's definitely too many.
Netflix might give him one more shot with the third, but I don't think they're going to give him another shot.
I don't
if
know.
it continues.
We'll see. Netflix likes funding.
No, I get that. I mean, at the end of the day, like it is what it is. But I think with him being such a household name, it's kind of a shitty thing just to kind of put two things out that are personal to you, and they just kind of get ripped apart on Twitter and the internet.
Mm.
I mean, if you're having strong sources,
I'll say this though. I'll say this. Props to him for not giving a
Right.
Because I mean, people shit on Batman v Superman, and he stood his ground on that. He said, well, "Okay, cool, good for you." And he's even said, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a clip of him saying basically to the haters, "If you fuel my hate, you're basically gonna get more because in a way, people see that me making stuff will bring like more views and more attention to headlines,
That's
websites. So it's like you build up. Yeah, it's bad, but you're still feeding something.
That people are now curious. I mean, hell, same thing. We're now curious to watch it.
That's basically what he was trying to say.
But you know what they say, like I don't know what the old saying is.
Which I mean, shit. My bad, bro. I didn't know. I don't know you could talk like that.
Like you lose trust in your audience, though.
That's true, but I think it's the old saying where I do like that he stands his ground. Where it's just like, listen, I made a movie I like. If you don't like it, that has nothing to do with me.
Basically,
because I made a movie that I fucking like, and I'll stand by it.
Yeah,
I kind of like that.
If you see his interview and his what's it called, reasoning for why he does slow mo, it's basically I like it.
He just does so much though.
Yeah,
we saw the clips on where it was just like a girl like sifting something, and it was slow. I was like, it doesn't add anything to the story.
Guys.
I was just like, for
what?
The worst part is when they go to the sword fighting, and it's in slow mo, and then she goes, and then it goes into super slow mo. Like they're already in slow mo, and they go into slow mo of the slow mo.
It goes like it just drops.
Yeah, that boy's favorite scenes to film on Justice League were definitely the Flash.
He's just like, oh, everything
finally,
is slow-mo.
Finally, fucking Batman, Wonder Woman get Flash. Now we're talking.
My time has come.
Yeah, but now we're talking. But it's kind of funny because he didn't used to do it that much in his earlier films. It's been more recent stuff.
Oh, he's very.
Rebel Moon have been, I'd say, the two that have the most in it.
But that's why I said if we watch it, I'm watching that shit in a 1.5 speed up because then that 3-hour movie will turn into an hour and a half. And I'll be fine with it. Because then the slow-mos will just be regular, and then it'll be a slow-mo.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. How long is that movie?
I was say I think it's not even that long. 2 hours.
But that's what I'm saying. If we speed it up.
Oh wow! Oh, I thought they were longer for some reason.
No, so in 2 hours, over 20 minutes is slow-mo.
That's what I'm saying. We'll speed that bitch up and we'll get through it.
How long is part 1?
2 hours 14.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's not terrible.
I mean, like, I don't blame him. I mean, I feel like once you like something, you like something. I just feel like you don't need to shove it down our throats.
Yeah, I'll respect him for that. Homie does what he wants and doesn't care.
No, I listen, respect.
Balls on the film right here.
Balls. Because if you give a fuck, that'll end you.
Yeah.
I'll say I don't like it. I'll say I don't like it.
He's like, I don't like it. I don't respect it. I don't like any of it.
The movie or just his...
The movie.
Oh. I mean,
like, and the style in it of slow-mo. I think it's used very poorly.
Oh, you know, I realized what I said about he didn't do it a lot, but if you remember 300...
Oh, yeah.
I completely forgot. Fucking when he kicks him down?
But at that
slow
time...
motion can be used well in a movie.
Yes.
But when you use it so much, it
takes away from the... Because you're supposed to use it in moments when it's dramatic and intense and it's building up.
It's what Syndicate said.
Syndicate?
If all of us are
you
super...
mean Syndrome?
Syndrome. I was thinking Assassin's Creed. Syndrome.
Syndicate.
If we're all super, then none of us are.
Yeah.
I was like, Syndicate the gamer? The streamer?
And when everyone's super, nobody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zack Snyder wants to promote a world of slow-mo.
And honestly, I don't blame him.
The new norm.
Yeah, I mean, shout out. We're fine. Me and Armando will work on your movie.
Yeah, I can edit your movie. I can just speed it up a bit.
Infiltrate from the inside.
Yeah, you can worry about the cinematography.
But that's
keep making your movies pretty as hell.
We did say that. Like he's a gorgeous cinematographer because his movies are just beautifully shot, angle wise, shot composition, all that shit. It's really pretty, but there's just a lackluster to the way he uses the story and the editing. I feel like Rebel Moon, some parts I was like, is this a bootleg Star Wars? Like, there was just certain parts where I was like, I don't know.
I mean, it basically is. He said that it's based off Star Wars.
Yeah, he went to Star Wars with it, and they said no. So he's like,
I'll make my own.
Fuck you, I'm going to Netflix.
They'll do it. They'll do it. They'll do anything I say.
All right. Well, that's Rebel Moon 2. The last thing we were going to talk about is there was a new Deadpool and Wolverine trailer that just dropped, and it was a pretty entertaining trailer. There's a lot of reveals in it.
Oh yeah, some that flew over my head.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. It seems fun. That is where I'll keep my expectations though, because recent MCU does not have my trust per se.
And some of it did seem to have that recent MCU in it.
Yeah.
Like the way it seemed almost too meta even for Deadpool at some points with like when you have your third act flashback or whatever. I was like, even for Deadpool, that's a little too being meta.
Yeah.
So I was like, tone it back a little.
Yeah.
It's a little too on the nose. I did feel like they were trying to make this one a little bit different with like the dramatics of it. It's like, your world went to shit. Like, what'd you say? I'm like, don't do that to Wolverine, please. Because I will say, from an expectation from someone who like watched the original X-Men and watched Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, like that was a prolific role for him, and to have him come back after so many years, like
no one but him could play Wolverine.
Oh no! No.
I mean, he is so good as Wolverine.
You think the internet would shit on a Zack Snyder movie? They would shit on a new Wolverine. Wouldn't matter who the fuck played it. It could be his fucking brother that looks exactly like him. They'd be like, nah, fam. We not having that.
Yeah, and he still got it, bro. He's still Wolverine. Ripped. It's like, well, yeah, but I mean, just his attitude, just like the way he speaks, everything is still Wolverine. He hasn't lost it.
Well, he played it for like damn near a decade.
No, I know, but I'm just saying in the sense because it's been a while. The last time he played it was Logan. That was back in 2017. You know, so it's good to see he still knows, and not that I ever doubted it, but it's just good to see him again in the role.
And I can say that one thing I'm not worried for in this movie is him. I bet that he will be perfect in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, if anything else in the movie is like bad,
the story.
He'll be good.
He'll be he'll be the best part.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds too. He's never been bad in his movies. He is Deadpool.
Yeah,
that's true. I just feel like it's going to come down to like dialogue and script writing and what the story is and how all the Easter eggs in the trailer connects.
Yeah, so I'll say this. If they get if the highlight and the the best aspect of the movie is them, kind of like buddy cop type deal, I honestly won't care as much whatever happens in the film. It can be the most stupid, dumb thing. But if I see Deadpool and Wolverine interacting with each other, how they're supposed to, how they're known for interacting with each other, and just doing a bunch of stupid shit, honestly, I'll like the movie. Yeah, if it could be dumb, stupid, convoluted, and whatnot. But if I get that, I'll just have fun with it. It'll be another Origins. It'll be another
It'll be another one of those bad fun movies.
Just one of those guilty pleasures, probably in a few years.
Do you read the comics?
Not all of them, but I've read some variations here and there.
Do you know who the bald girl is?
Apparently, that's someone's.
Deadpool girl.
No, someone said that was Xavier's sister, or like a version of Xavier. She's bald and she was controlling Logan or something like that. I think. If I could be wrong.
Right.
Because she seems to be leading that world where we see
she's definitely the main villain.
The skeleton of Ant-Man and everything looks like it's from Mad Max.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The Mad Max shot. You're right.
Yeah. And one thing I didn't like was that they had a lot of VFX blood, but
I feel like the industry is now moving towards that because now I'm seeing it pop up so often.
It's gonna be in everything, and it's inescapable. But I prefer when they got a blood pack and it just explodes.
Kind of like how Abigail was, how they had the cannons. I saw the behind the scenes and like having that.
Yeah, and even Melissa Barrera was just talking about how she loved the exploding or whatever.
The only problem is that you could only do it in one take. Like, if that shit blows up and you start laughing, that's probably why they opt for shit like this. Because it's like, we don't have to deal with a messy set or blood work. We can just do the fights, choreograph the fight scene, and then just add all that shit in post. So I understand why. Reasons as far as like materials, and it's just easier. I don't know. I feel like that would be more expensive.
It depends.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like it looks fine. I mean, we won't
Yeah, it
know
looks
until
fun.
we.
We'll see. Yeah, we won't know.
Yeah,
until we
maybe
see.
it needs a little bit of color correcting, but
Yeah, the Twitter argument of color
Yeah.
correction.
but
Well, no, so we
That's
have
good.
until July. We can fix it up. So.
yeah. And that was our news this week. So this week we are going to be talking about the Tobey Maguire trilogy of Spider-Man.
The goat.
Pretty much like because of Columbia Pictures, they're celebrating their 100-year anniversary, so they're showing all the Spider-Mans every Monday, which is great because in the next 2 weeks we will watch Andrew Garfield's
The Amazing Spider-Man.
The Amazing Spider-Man, which
Yeah,
I have not seen either.
Yeah,
of them.
me and Riley have, but we're pretty excited to see what Kenny thinks.
Mhm.
Because you guys think that I'll like it, and I think I
Yeah.
will too.
I think so. They're good.
Because I think
The first one is.
when it came out, I was like, well, I grew up with Toby, so I have to
I mean,
respect
so did I.
it.
Yeah,
I
so
was
did
going
I.
to do it when you started the first one.
Oh, sorry. It's fine. And then I think also at the time Andrew Garfield wasn't a household name. So for me, I was just like, eh. But then again, all the Spider-Mans aren't household names
When they begin.
when they become, yeah. But I think just
That's not true.
as the years have gone by, like just becoming a fan of Andrew Garfield, I'm real fucking excited about those two. But before we start, if you haven't seen the Tobey Maguire trilogy,
What are you doing?
spoilers.
Go
Yeah.
watch. Go watch some real film from cinema. Cinema.
It's a gabagoo.
Gabagool.
Sam Raimi did a great job.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think what we'll start with is talking about the Spider-Man movies individually, at least with this trilogy. So, Spider-Man 1, I mean, I don't care what anyone says, that's pretty much what saved Marvel. Like,
Because
it
it was one of
kickstarted
those
everything.
pioneers. Yeah, so that movie definitely paved the way to basically
What
superhero movies are cool again. Like this
what
is
it
the
could
shit.
become.
Yeah,
Because the only superhero movies that were really getting competition was like the Batman.
yeah.
It's
yeah.
like, at least in the 90s and the 2000s, like, yeah, there was a couple spurts. I know that a lot of people will argue and say that it was Blade, and I do believe that Blade gave it the financial success it needed
yeah.
in order to get to Spider-Man. And
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, this trilogy was able to make Marvel what it was going to become.
Yeah.
It was going to give it the potential that it needed.
Yeah.
So I'm always going to harken back to the original Spider-Man because
Yeah.
I remember watching that as a kid in the movie theaters and just being like, the fuck am I watching?
I think it's also just pretty much a perfect origin movie.
Yeah.
In terms of when you start up the whole superhero, Batman, Superman, you name it, all have their first movie, their origin, right? So I think it's just I think it did it perfectly in my opinion, just everything.
Yeah. I think it harpened back where it's just like it gave you a full story. A lot of times when we get the original Batman, it's like he's Batman and then it explains a little bit of what happened in the past. Versus this is like very much from start to finish. It's a full cohesive piece, like story arc.
Yeah,
where it's
yeah.
just like top
I
to
think
bottom.
I remember why Joe Mancini or whatever his name is in the end. It's because he plays Flash in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I forgot about that. He looks
Yeah.
so old.
Yeah.
Like to be like a 15-year-old or whoever.
Yeah, that's what I said when he was in the background. I said, "Is that Flash Thompson?"
No, but I think the first one to me is always gonna hold up true. And
Yeah, it's great seeing like the nerd to beating your bullies, like kind of thing.
that underdog story.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, but I think it just it does the right amount of crazy and kind of campiness and goofiness, also like superhero. Like you can tell it is very much a superhero movie, and it does it well. We have when Toby's running and he does the thing.
Yeah.
Like they do that in the first movie, like super. He's running in slow mo, and and he does it. That's the superhero thing to do.
Yeah, and I think if we're gonna talk about the first one, we have to talk about the prolific like kiss scene.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's a new standard.
Yeah, no. It was like, oh, you
That's
think
the
you just
kissing.
kiss on screen?
Yeah.
Let's make it wet and have you upside down. I bet you can't do it like
as
this.
torturous as that scene was, like, have you guys heard about how insanely like terrible was to film that?
Yeah.
Like from Kristen Dunst's side was that the water was wet.
Whoa, the water was wet, guys.
Cold.
Call the press. The water was wet.
Why is water wet?
Print it. J. Jonah Jameson, print that shit.
I don't understand.
I meant cold. The water was super freezing cold. She said she was cold. She was like, what was she? She had a tank top. Like she was super.
It was like a
revealing.
dress.
Yeah.
Like a dress.
And then Toby was upside down, basically getting waterboarded. He couldn't breathe because Kirsten Dunst was kissing him, which I'm sure was fun. But then you had water entering his nose because he was upside down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Water's wet. He was upside down.
Is it also true that they actually did? He had to catch everything on the thing.
Oh yeah.
And it took him like 130
that's like
tries.
That's the Lord of the Rings equivalent of like when Aragorn kicks the helmet and we're like, did you know that? For that movie, that's that. Did you know Tobey Maguire took 100 and something takes to
catch everything on?
I think that's cool in my opinion. I think that's dope that he actually did it. Like, you don't see many movies doing that. It was just CGI. No, that boy said, "I'm gonna take 100 tries," but.
And maybe that's true.
Give me one more.
Yeah, give me one more. Another one.
And I think maybe that stays true to like Sam Raimi and like his thought process of being like, no, I want this to be authentic. And if we have to be here all fucking day and do it 100 times, we will. I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
I also just like how he implements his horror style in it a little bit because there are so many shots of Green Goblin screaming and just popping up in your face.
Yeah.
Like there are jump scares in the movie in a sense again because he pops out at you. Yeah, and that's just him putting his horror style.
And I think that Willem Dafoe did a great job.
He's incredible,
dude. He's great.
I think in the same retrospect, like
I think that Green Goblin's probably the best villain.
Yeah, and in the same retrospect, like with let's talk about like the Wolverine. You can't find another Wolverine. I don't think I can accept another Green Goblin. Like William Dafoe will always.
I'd have to.
I don't know. The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Like he's joking. I'm just why. No. But I'd say because I would have to see another Green Goblin. A good one, not the one you mentioned. But
Wait, so is there a Green Goblin in the Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Maybe we'll see. Just wait till whatever and find out. But like definitely
Heard me amazed.
Green Goblin. Green Goblin. Willem Dafoe is definitely one of those. I would hate to see somebody else. You feel me? It's like it's not the same. It's like
you're not gonna live up to it.
Yeah, it's got that like in my opinion at least. But I feel like maybe there's probably some people like it. But he definitely does a great job.
No, he definitely does. I think also when it comes to like the friendship of like Harry and MJ and like that whole triangle.
I love James Franco in these movies.
I do too.
Yeah, he's good.
I know there's been a lot of discourse about him in the past couple of years, but like when I think back on that time, I was like, oh, he was actually good. Like
yeah, he was good. So is which is funny. MJ gets a lot of flack in these movies. Like, have you guys seen that? Like, she gets a lot of flack for being like a hoe basically. But there's especially in that first one, there's a lot that backs it up in the sense like her life in the first one is terrible. She has an abusive father.
Yeah.
What's it called? And I think the best scene of just also a dynamic between her and Peter is when you can hear the screaming going on in her house. And Peter's taking out the trash. She comes out and she says, "Did you hear that?" And he's like, "Oh, I mean, I'm out here, yeah." And he tries to comfort her by saying like, "Well, everybody shouts, And he's like, "Well, your aunt and uncle don't." And it's like, that shows a lot about her versus him and kind of like how they go about it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
So, a lot of like what happens to her with like Harry and the back and forth is just, and she says it at the end. She's been kind of like basically lost her whole life. Like she had Flash, then she had Harry, but it's because Peter was the only one that saw her for her, and she didn't really click into that until the end. And that's why the rest of the movies and what happens happen the way they do.
Yeah, no, it makes a good point because it's just like you kind of see her point of view of like how she came up.
Yeah.
And they're both very different, but I feel like that's where like that connection, especially when he is the only person that knows her for who she really is.
Her, yeah, like,
and also because they're neighbors, so it helps.
Yeah, but also because you can say that because Harry's also known her a while, and he also is like when she's meeting Norman at the Thanksgiving thing, he's very much like, oh, like why don't you do this? Like my dad will like that. I don't think he'll like there's like subtle things where it's like, don't be like this because he won't like that or some shit. And Peter does not care. He's the only one that's always been, oh, you want to act? Oh, you're doing this. He's 100% supportive through everything. There's not a single time where he's like, oh, maybe you shouldn't do that.
Right. Maybe you shouldn't sing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and Aunt May and Uncle Ben are just so amazing too, Peter.
Oh yeah,
the goats.
The goats. They're definitely the best interpretations of like they're the perfect like role models, like that they care, trying to lessons.
Yeah, Aunt May, every scene is a tearjerker.
Every time she
just
speaks,
drops a wisdom, dog.
She just speaks, and I'm just like, well, that shit was hella prolific. I needed that. I always feel like I need that in my life.
Yeah,
like,
everybody needs an Aunt May.
Yeah, I'm just like, she'll say something, and it could be whatever you're going through in life. It could be put in effect, and like whatever she says, like I don't know, whoever wrote the dialogue for her was like spot on because it's just it's so. Every time she speaks, it packs a punch. She doesn't have to be crazy and act and like be someone she's not. She's just speaking regular words in a soft-spoken tone, and it's effective. It's small but effective, and I don't know. I love her. Every time she comes on screen, I'm like, I'm gonna get something from this.
Yeah, she was great.
I'm gonna get something from Aunt May.
Yeah, really good, and also like the fights and special effects. Like in the movie for their time and whatnot, I think it looked great.
Yeah, Spider-Man 1, I think it looked really good.
Yeah, I feel like it holds up and just everything. Like that final fight with Green Goblin, where it's just basically hands.
Mm-hmm.
Like Toby out of all the Spider-Mans is definitely the more. These are rated E for everyone.
What's
like,
good?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if you noticed, but his style of fighting is just.
No, let's throw bows.
Yeah.
I'm not about this web shit.
He's also the most durable due to the grenade to the face.
I also feel like out of all the Spider-Mans, like probably in the filming process alone, Toby got beat up way more than the other two.
Yeah.
Way more.
Yeah, that one was definitely in it and whatnot. Just everything.
And Sam Raimi's like, we don't need a stunt double. You can do this, Toby. He's like, I guess. Like, fuck. But I mean, like, I appreciate, like, you could tell so much thought went into like this entire trilogy.
One of my favorite parts is JJJ. He's just
J.K. Simmons.
He's just so funny in every scene he's in.
Yes, that is a role that I don't think I'll accept anybody else but him.
That's true.
I do not see.
And it's why they bring him back to Florida.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think there's anybody on planet Earth that can play that role better than him. I really don't. I cannot see. You can tell me whoever, they can have 10 Oscars in their bag, Method and Meisner actor at the same time. I don't give a fuck. It's not going to be better than J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, no. I mean, he is just so
he's
good
perfect.
in that
That
role.
is perfect casting.
And he's great.
Yes.
He's great in everyone. Like
he always got some shit to say.
Yeah.
I love
if anything, we want to talk about a consistent element in all three of these movies, it's J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, him and Betty.
Betty. You know what's funny? Like, watching these back, I didn't realize, like, who these people were. Like, of course, in the moment when they're released, you're just like, oh, that's the guy who plays such and such.
Yeah.
But now that years have went by, and I'm just like, that's Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah.
That's J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. I'm just looking at all these people in the background. I'm like, wait, what? Like,
you were in this.
Right. It was a shocker. I was like, watching each one, I was like, oh damn, like you were just so minor in this one, and now you're this. Like, it's kind of cool just to see, like, go back in time and be like, oh.
And not for me, it was more like when I watched Whiplash for the first time. Is that Jay Jonah?
Yeah, I mean, but I don't mind that. We can move on into Spider-Man 2, which
let's start Letterbox for Spider-Man 1.
Oh yeah, real quick.
I don't even know what mine is.
I think I'm gonna give my Spider-Man.
a 5.
I'm giving it a 4.
You giving it a 4? I don't.
A 4.
I'm giving it a 5. It's 5. I don't like. There's nothing like.
You gave it a 5?
Yeah, I give it a 5.
I only have 25 stars, so I keep my higher.
Shit's like I said, shit is B superhero movie, perfect origin story. Just it does Spider-Man right. It just handles every character well. I love it. Yeah. In my preference, that does sound familiar, right? My preference.
It's my opinion. For mine, I just looked back. I actually gave it 4 stars before rewatching it.
4 is fine.
Yeah, it's not a bad score.
No, 4 is a good.
Yeah.
Just, again, I mean.
So let's roll into Spider-Man 2. Now, to preface, I have not seen this movie since 2004 when it was released, and I was 14 years old in theaters.
And then
Now-
Monday.
Huh?
And then Monday.
Yeah, and then Monday.
Yeah,
like,
Monday.
I don't know. So before we went, like, we saw this. We specifically chose Spider-Man 2 in theaters because this is Armando's favorite. Is it superhero movie of all time?
Yeah.
Movie. Just
It's one of my favorite movies. It's definitely it's in the top.
It's
10.
in your top 10.
Armando says that he would love to give you a presentation on why it's like the greatest ever.
Well, not you guys. I'm sure many of you know out there why it's cinema. I'm talking about these two guys.
Hey!
No, I'm just saying because like
I had a
you
different.
do not have it to the point where I have it.
No, that's absolutely true.
And
but
I'm talking more or less right.
okay, because I was like, I didn't even really think much of it, but that it was just another movie.
Yeah.
But after seeing it,
Yeah.
like, really, we prepped this to go see it because I was like, well, maybe I haven't seen it in over 10 years, so I need to rewatch it just to kind of get back into it. And watching it, here's the thing: when you watch a film when you're 14, your mind is not. I wasn't mature enough to handle the capacity of Spider-Man 2. Rewatching it as an adult, I was like, holy fuck. Wait, that wasn't even no, that's not even a decade. That's 2 decades that have passed. Like, I didn't, as a child, I did not appreciate Spider-Man 2 for what it was, because for me, I was just like a kid being like, another Spider-Man movie, like it's cool, it's pretty, it's fun, MJ, like, all of that. As an adult, it cuts a lot deeper.
Oh yeah.
When I'm just like watching it, fucking bawling at multiple points, not even one, multiple points, where I was just like in the theater, like watching it like this, because I was like, I do not want these fools to see me fucking cry, because I was going through it. It's crazy because the only times I can remember like crying in a movie theater is literally the Spider-Man movies. Because last time I can say last time I cried in a movie theater was No Way Home.
Oh, No Way Home.
Well, yeah, Spider-Man 2.
And then No Way Home.
And then No Way Home was the one before.
Yeah.
But just to set it up, like, it was just a movie before Monday, and then I saw it, and it is, I would say it's top 3, one of my favorite superhero movies of all time.
I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't.
It's okay. I get it. Your preference.
It's our
All
preference.
All cool.
There's a lot of there's different types of superhero movies. Like
That's true.
Like I would rather put like The Batman with Robert Pattinson.
The Batman's up there for me. That's the top 3.
Yeah,
Robert
that's
Pattinson.
more my
That
kind of
shit's a good
movie than like this.
I get it. I think there was much more emotions. It was more of like the.
I feel like it was a
I don't know how
much
to
more
say it.
personal story because you
Yes.
follow like Peter through basically some of the worst times in his life. You know, like nothing seems to go right.
Relatable.
Yeah, this movie to me,
Very relatable.
To me, is insanely relatable. Like, have we've all been late to class, we've all been late to work, we've all been told, "Yo, better set this shit up." Or
We've all had too much on our plate.
Yeah, we've all
lost our ability to shoot webs.
Yeah,
out of our
100%.
hands.
Like, you know, I one time I tried it in middle school. I jumped off my roof, went like that, didn't work.
It broke my elbow.
Yeah, I broke everything, bro. Like, I felt for Tobey Maguire when I saw that.
No, it was different because I was in the hospital with a full body cast like
I think
this.
probably one of the most relatable ones. Can't get the girl you like.
Yeah.
Everybody's been there at some point.
Honestly,
I relate to Spider-Man 3 when it's just you got too many babes.
Anytime this man opens his mouth.
I think also I do want to talk about, because you we've talked about Spider-Man 2 before we went to go see it. Like, it was one day where we left class and we were just speaking about it, and you talked about the party scene. And having that context and then watching it, it was a different, it was in a different world for me. I was like, that man is going through it. Like, when they were like, oh, one more thing.
Let's Armand, give us your party scene spiel.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
give it to him. Because it was great. And then I watched it, I said, that man was right.
Bro, because, he shows up and you get, like, these subtle little things. And it's again, subtle. It's not, like, major. But it's, like, for example, he tries to go for an appetizer, one of those, like, little small hors d'oeuvres. Goes, someone just takes it, he's love like that. He tries to take the picture for J. Jonah. No, he just asks a random couple. He goes, can I take your picture? Has the lens on, the couple goes away. As soon as he goes, they're gone. Tries to grab a drink, gone. Harry is, because of what happened with Otto Octavius and stuff, is getting drunk. He's mad, and, he has the whole thing against Peter because of Norman.
Yep.
And he's, like, treating him badly. Then there's a whole thing with MJ, where she's also treating him not the same way, but she's just mad that, like, he's never around. She doesn't get the whole thing because she doesn't. She doesn't get why he's always kind of like ignoring her or not being there for her because she doesn't know he's Spider-Man. So there's that whole ordeal, and again, just the small things. He can't get a drink. Then Harry slaps him in front of everybody. Like, he was slapping him, and you heard everybody, like, the music go quiet, and he's just standing there. And then the biggest, I think, fucking dagger to the crotch, fucking MJ gets engaged right in front of his eye. And then J. Jonah Jameson, shoot the picture of the girl that you're in love with getting engaged with another guy. Please, shoot it. Make a memory out of it.
Yeah, I was sitting there watching it. I was like, oh my god, what the? And then when they were like, oh, we have an announcement. Dude, I just engaged the love of my life. I would have literally gone on that stage and be like, I have an announcement too. I'm about to change everyone's life up in this motherfucker. Like, everyone's world is about to change right now. I would have offed myself in front of everybody and just been like, well.
Nah, dude, that would have been it for me. That would have been my breaking point. I would have just stayed in my room. Oh, the cop sirens going by new villain?
It's just crazy. It's like the love of your life. So, like, your love life, gone. Your best friend, gone.
Yeah.
Your professional career, gone. You can't even eat or drink, gone.
Yeah. Like, and again, this whole this is more made later after he loses the powers, but I feel like it's still probably something in the back of his head. The whole thing with Aunt May, because he's struggling in the movie to tell her about what happened with Uncle Ben. That scene broke me slightly when he put his hand over hers and she
that scene is tough, bro. And just didn't say shit and just got up and walked upstairs. Bro. I was like, because also to preface, I've seen this movie 20 years ago, but I don't remember much about it. Which is fine for me because I almost went in.
Because you almost went into it with
a new scope.
Yeah,
scope. I was watching it with a different eye and a different brain, so it was great. But I was just like, oh my god, I don't know what I was thinking 20 years ago watching this, just being like, that sucks.
Yeah, and then because Otto tells him when he's talking to him about his love life, and they ask him, do you have a girlfriend? He's like, I don't know. He said, if you keep something complicated as love and feelings without expressing or doing anything, it's gonna make you sick. And that's kind of the whole point of why he's losing his powers. He even says it in No Way Home. He said, I have a web problem, and Andrew asked him what? Existential crisis stuff. And that kind of stuff doesn't let you
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
He
says he's like existential crisis, and we're going through it. You don't know who, and the doctor even said it. It must make you mad not knowing who you are. Yeah. But when he went to go see him, and he was like, I have a dream, and in my dream I'm Spider-Man, and I'm falling. And he's telling you, maybe you're not meant, bro, to be Spider-Man. That's when he comes to that realization.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like it was a good coming-of-age story. I mean, yes, not everyone knows what it's like to be a fucking superhero, but
that's the point. You add these elements in, and you get,
I'm saying if you took the Spider-Man aspect out of it,
oh, dude, we'd have some.
It would have been a great coming-of-age story, like Perks of Wallflower type shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It just would have been
exactly.
I don't know. I just think that it was nice to see it again under a different scope.
And Otto Octavius was great.
Oh,
great villain.
Perfection.
Yeah, Alfred Molina.
Awesome. His surgical scene is so good.
Dude, yes. That's a horror scene.
Yeah.
That's a straight up horror scene.
Oh no, Sam Raimi was like, I'm about to put my foot up in this motherfucker.
The nails part?
That was a little
Yeah, I hate that sound. That screeching sound. I hate that sound.
Also, I did think when I saw it, I was like,
her nails aren't long enough.
also that floor is probably
definitely
concrete,
not.
sir.
Yeah,
That floor is probably
not.
concrete, but I respected it for what it was.
Yeah,
I was like,
and no, it was very Evil Dead. Like his when it's like a POV of the camera, yeah, that's definitely straight out of Evil Dead, which I love. That's a praise. Yeah, like the.
I will say if Sam Raimi had it his way, he could have had a R rating, that scene would have been completely different.
Oh, dude, for sure.
That scene would have been out of a nightmare.
100%. We gotta remember those arms had a like blade in it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
he
definitely would have done something with that.
That scene would have been. That scene would have changed cinema at that time because it would have been a little too much, but he would have done well with it.
Yeah, I thought all of his CGI was really great, except for the end where he falls into the river. But besides that, all of his arm stuff, like his fights were great.
Yeah, the arms were really good. Yeah, the fight scenes with him when in the bank, that scene is so good. Fighting on the building, it's just again pure hands, pure hands, bro. Great.
Aunt May coming in clutch, really just cracking shit.
Yeah, and then at the end, we sure showed him. What do you mean we?
Yeah.
Like, guys are like, bro, I hit him.
That's when she becomes a fan. She's like, bitch, don't take credit.
And yeah, he's like, I hit him. You catched me.
You almost got killed. Let's be honest.
I mean, yeah, she did whack him, and that's why he changed the blade. He might have gotten stabbed.
That's what I'm saying. You could have fucking just died.
Yeah.
I mean, she would have died too, because.
Granted,
but overall.
Yeah.
So, Armando, what would you give it on Letterbox?
5. 6 if I could. 7. Has the best scene in any Spider-Man movie, which is when he lets her go and he puts on the mask at the very end after he tells her we can't be together. I'm always Spider-Man. That shot with the music.
I do remember that shot.
I can't just give it any better than that.
Nah, my favorite scene's in the next one.
You want to know what's crazy? Because I graded them, because I've seen them all, and I graded them just kind of going off of what I remember. I graded it 4.5. And I don't know what made me come up with that. Now, I mean, I would,
I have mine at a cool 4 stars. Just like the first one.
It's a little low, but it's cool. Preference.
Understood. It's just one thing that I didn't like about this movie was it preferred to tell rather than show, which it is my preference, but I like it when a movie reserves what they say rather than say it out loud.
I understand. He doesn't agree. I understand. But I know, it's almost like you want the performance to speak for itself.
I'll say, I don't think, again, for me, because I agree with, I think things left unsaid work and are a good thing to have. I just think for the moments this movie was trying to convey and everything and show, I think, how do I say it? It didn't need to be that way. I think them telling us and showing us is fine and made the movie what it is, in my eyes. Because again, I even said it when we watched 3, the end. I think that was a perfect. I wouldn't have liked it if they said or did anything. I think in that regard, I think it's perfect that they didn't say anything.
I will say personally, like, I had a certain expectation because I just didn't remember much of the movie. But when I walked out, I was like, that was actually prolific, and I did. My brain capacity couldn't handle it, but now that I'm an adult, I was like, I'm happy. It actually, watching that back makes me want to go back and watch movies that I watched when I was a kid, just to see it in a different lens. Yeah, just to see it in a different scope, a different lens, because maybe I'll see something now. Also, what I told you guys as well was like, back in those times, I was not into film. Like, I was more into music. Like, I was just watching movies to watch movies because every Tuesday, Blockbuster had new movies. And that's, that was what it was, or you would just go to the movie theater with your friends. So I wasn't watching it for like what I watch for it now. So it's kind of, it's a little different. My passion for film didn't come till much, much later in life. So I'm like curious now to kind of go back and see. But we can move on to Spider-Man 3, your favorite Spider-Man. Is it your favorite Spider-Man of like all the Spider-Man movies?
I would say.
I respect that. That's good.
I think
good.
Tell.
I honestly don't get why anybody would not like this movie. I think this is the best Spider-Man. Spider-Man 3.
Of
Preach.
all the Spider-Mans?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm okay with that because a lot of people like to super shit on this for some reason.
And I think that this has some of my favorite like action sequences. Like that sequence with him and Harry going through
In the alley?
Not even just the alley, but everything before it too. With like this is like contrary to the Rebel Moon slow-mo, this is some great slow-mo with like the ring and him trying to grasp it every time.
It's called for that moment.
Yeah,
like, you know,
it's just like, oh, will he grab this ring? And it's just, I was actually like, oh my gosh, he's getting so close, and it's just right there.
Yeah, I feel like in this third one, the special effects definitely went. I feel like out of all three, the special effects were the best in this one.
Yeah,
and it's probably
especially being able to watch it in 4K.
Yeah, and I think maybe because as the years went by, I mean, we all know that in the industry, it gets a little bit better each year. So maybe that's what it was. But I think the way they played into it and the way that they played with it was
I just
great use.
I mean, I'm saying it like for all three, but because they all do a good job of like mixing practical and then like visual effects.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, it's not this one, but the one that comes off the top of my head was Doc Ock's fight, the previous one. Mm-hmm. When he's on the building, it starts off CGI, but then when you see him up close, it's practical. They do that a lot here as well.
You see it every time they jump out of a window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. Also, I came in with the lowest expectations for this one because I remember there was something about it that I didn't like when I was a kid. I think it might have been Topher Grace. I don't know. Not that he's bad.
He's definitely, for me, the lowest point. I think Venom and his portrayal are probably my least favorite aspect.
He's still funny in it. Just
yeah, but it's not.
God, kill Peter Parker.
I was like, that's why you went to the church?
Yeah.
All right.
And it's not even so much the aspect of the symbiote or him having the black suit. I don't know. I think his portrayal, just kind of how they did Venom, isn't.
They were just throwing it in there.
Yeah, I don't. Because he didn't want to do Venom.
Venom didn't show up for an entire hour.
Yeah.
Like as a plot element.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But that's my point. He didn't like Sam Raimi didn't want to do Venom. He doesn't like Venom. I think he just wanted to do Sandman and Harry. Which is fine. If anything, you know what I would have done? If like I was Sony, I would have just said, "Can we introduce the black suit?" Because they've done that before in comics and TV show where they put the suit on him. You know, he acts like an asshole and whatever. He throws it away, but Venom is still out there, and he returns at a later point. So I think they could have done that, explore like the aspect of him going dark and whatnot, and then leave Venom for Spider-Man 4 or something again in a different scenario, obviously, but. I think if they just had the black suit and not cram in Venom, that's another thing. I feel like you should do a whole movie for Venom, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was like too much. Like there's too many plots. I was like, ugh.
Again, mainly towards the end because he like he said, Venom isn't introduced until an hour in.
Mm-hmm. Like
then it's Harry and Sam.
Had the whole movie ended with like a Venom something.
Yeah, like a little tease of like, snap, he got onto Eddie, or like it's still out there lurking. After he got it off or some shit like that, you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm saying like cut the whole Venom thing and it's just like a little Easter egg at the very end of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I mean, yeah.
Just be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Again, that would have been its own movie, like just Sandman.
For sure.
Which, I mean, I would like to see that in my opinion. I would like to see what Sam originally wanted because again, he did not want Venom. But Sony was like, put him in. That's why it's a little messy.
It would have created a little something different with like the whole.
We could have had a much bigger Harry villain arc.
That's true.
Which would have been cool, like with him kidnapping MJ. Or Green.
Oh, true. Because I don't know, that one was a little weird. But like, I feel like with like James Franco, like Harry in particular, like after he got knocked in the head, like there was something so tangible with his acting. I was just like, that's so good. Like he's back to like
he's reverted because again he doesn't remember. He doesn't remember anything, and it's like, and it's kind of cool because I feel like it's the movie reminding you like this. He's not a bad dude. Like you get why Peter
he genuinely
is in this struggle because it's like he's doing all these bad things and yet but he's still a good guy at the core. It's just, you know, he's got his schizophrenic dad gaslighting him every fucking 5 minutes and shit. So,
in the mirror.
yeah, in the mirror. So,
also, shouts out to the shitty butler that took forever to tell him.
dude, for real, like, that's another thing. Why would you wait so long, man? I would have told him at the funeral, been like, yo, Harry. Or
I would have told him when he started going crazy.
Going crazy about Spider-Man.
Yeah, because remember,
like the second that he broke into his dad's vault or whatever, I would have been like, hey, what? Before you go down this path.
Yeah, I would have been like, yo, or in 2, because in 2 they show him when he's like acting crazy, and he comes up to him and he's like, I'm leaving for the night. Like, are you gonna be okay? And Harry's like, bro, fuck out of here, basically. I would have been like, all right, bro.
You're taking this too far.
Yeah,
you know?
Listen to me. I got something to tell you. I know you're not going to want to hear it, but this is for your own good. This and that. Brother.
Yeah, let it go.
Sorry, go ahead.
One of my favorite things about this movie is Gwen Stacy. I think that Bryce Dallas Howard is so good in this movie.
I forgot she was blonde in this too. Well, I guess when I was introduced to her, I didn't know who that was.
Yeah, blonde, bangs. She's great.
Blonde, bangs. That's all it
Riley
takes.
likes her. Riley really enjoyed her in the movie. Prolific role.
To me, I prefer her over MJ.
Kirsten Dunst.
This specific version, or just in the character in general?
Yeah, I mean, if you were to ask me, in general.
So, okay, in general, character-wise, just her across medium, comic, TV show, whatever.
Oh, no, just this.
Just
as in this retrospect.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there and say Betty. I thought y'all were gonna say MJ, huh? But no, Betty.
Oh,
okay,
Betty's great.
Bro, Betty. Honestly, Betty's another one of those that it's like, you know, she probably likes you for you know, bro. Like, I feel like if you were genuine with Betty, she'd be like, I like you.
Same with his neighbor.
Yeah, her neighbor.
Yeah,
so sweet.
The neighbor's also great.
Yeah, she
like,
was so nice, bro. So wholesome.
Do you have any nuts in them?
I have. Let's like go make some.
Go make some.
And I love how she doesn't question because he's basically bossing her around at that point.
She's damn near
he's serving
feeding
at that
him.
point,
Yeah.
And again, he has the black suit at that point, so obviously he's more of a dick.
It was the hair. The swoop.
But I mean, I'll agree with you in this sense. Back to the Gwen Stacy, I like her more in general. Not this particular iteration, but across comics, shows, and whatnot. I think she's. I've always liked her as a love interest more. For Peter.
What's your letterbox for Spider-Man 3?
You should go first, Riley.
You give it 5 to the other ones.
I'll give it a 4.
A 4, a full 2 steps down.
Either 3.5 or 4. I'll lean towards 4 because even watching it on this one, it very much like I don't know. I found like a new appreciation for it because there's a lot of things that you can see that even though it's messy, and you still got a good director and somebody that understands these characters well and that know what to do with them. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, just with like the messiness and kind of like what happened with Venom, I still think it stays true to like its origins. You know what I'm saying?
I do feel like with this one, because you have someone like Sam Raimi directing it, he did the best he could with what he had to do.
Oh, 100%.
Because I know Columbia and Sony were probably pushing the whole Venom thing because this is a franchise that made them a shit ton of money. I mean, Spider-Man 2 won Oscar. Like, I mean, what did it win an Oscar for? Special effects?
Visual effects, yeah.
So they're just like, well, let's cram as much as we can and get as many people as much money as we can. So him having to do all the shit with the studio and him still producing what I think is still a good body of work is great. I mean, I have a new appreciation for it now because I remember I thought it was bad. I actually rated it on my Letterbox.
I never thought it was bad.
Right.
Like I definitely like it a bit more.
So I had rated it 2.5, but upon rewatching it, I'm going to give it a 3.5. I'll give it a whole star because I do have a new appreciation for it.
That's good.
And I could admit that because you have to think also, I haven't seen this since I was 17.
Yeah.
You said you didn't watch it when it came out.
I didn't watch it in theaters. I watched the first 2 in theaters when I was younger, but that one, I remember watching it, but it was like probably Blockbuster DVD type shit.
I'm going to give Spider-Man 3 a 4.5. I'm going to give it the 1 step above the rest. I gave both the rest a 4. And this one, I'll give the extra half star. Just because I'll say it's my favorite. I like it the best. And I'll give it 4.5 stars.
Can I ask you a question? Why not a full 5? Like what makes it not?
Because 5 stars are sacred.
That's the only reason.
That's the only reason.
No,
and I understand that.
There are movies that I'm like, but I wouldn't give it a 5 either. Like, I would want to keep like a 5 sacred.
No, and I feel the same way too. But I'm saying, like, what about the movie made it not hit a 5?
Just because it's not one of those movies that I think is prolific, greatest of all time, 5-star worthy. Yeah. I think it's amazing superhero movie, does everything right in a superhero movie standpoint. But I'm not a very much. I don't put very many I don't think I would put any superhero movies in 5 stars per se.
Yeah, I don't think I have one.
But I mean, it's a preference thing.
I have less 5 stars than both of y'all. Like, I hold my 5 stars.
Yeah.
You do? I have 20.
I know I have less than that. I think I have not even 10.
Not even 10.
Not even 10. Where am I? Yeah, I need to know how many I have. 2.
Ooh,
I have, and honestly, 8. You could take one out because that first one don't count.
Fault in Our Stars.
Fault in Our Stars is. I'd watch Fault in Our Stars over.
Is it 5 out of 5? I give it 4.
I love that movie.
All right, well, that was our Spider-Man trilogy review. We hope you enjoyed that we did a little something old this week.
Yeah, let us know if you guys want to see anything old. I mean, we are watching the Andrew Garfield one, so if you guys want to, if this blows up and whatever, and you guys want to see it, like, we'll absolutely do. We're seeing both of them in theaters.
Yeah, and they re-release movies in the theaters all the time that we might just decide to do a review on.
Yeah. Just for fun. Yeah.
Just for funsies.
Yeah.
But we'll see you guys next week. Bye. Bye.